They say Hong Kong is a city of two faces. One face shines in postcards, glittering skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and endless lights reflecting off glass towers. The other face lives in shadows, hidden between crowded markets, wet alleyways, and forgotten staircases where silence matters more than words. Somewhere between these two worlds is an invisible web connecting street vendors to men who hold power no one talks about. You are about to step inside that web, a place built on loyalty, fear, and rituals older than the city itself. A place where numbers decide your worth and silence decides whether you live or disappear. This isn't a story that begins with greed. It begins with love, and it ends the same way all tragedies end, inside a cage. It starts on a human Tuesday. You are 19 years old, wiping grease off metal counters in your father's small cha-chan-teng. Your life is simple, honest, predictable. You serve milk tea, clear tables, and dream quietly about a future that might involve university someday. Then, everything changes in a single moment. Your father drops a tray, clutches his chest, and collapses. The ambulance arrives too late to save your normal life. In a cold hospital room, a doctor tells you what survival costs: specialists, treatments, private care. Numbers so large they feel unreal. You look at your bank account and realize you can barely afford next month's rent. Nights blur together in waiting rooms filled with stale coffee and fear. Desperation has a smell, and now it surrounds you. That's when a man you recognize from the restaurant appears. You only knew him as the customer who tipped too generously. He sits beside you without sympathy, only solutions. An envelope slides toward you. Enough money to save your father's life. You don't ask questions because you can't afford to. Your father survives, but 2 weeks later, the man returns and his smile is gone. Money, he explains, is never free. You don't owe cash, you owe time. 3 years of service, a debt paid not in dollars, but in loyalty. You become a ghost, a blue lantern, uninitiated, invisible. Your first year feels like endless boredom wrapped in constant fear. You stand on street corners watching staircases that lead to businesses no one openly admits exist. You learn to read the streets like a language. Which cars linger too long, which footsteps mean danger, which smiles hide threats. You carry crates that feel too light to be fish, and drive cars you are told never to look back at. One night, police slam you against a wall, accusing you of things you refuse to confess. Fear pounds inside your chest, but you remember the debt. You stay silent. By dawn, they release you. Outside, the man waits, gives a single nod, and you understand. It was a test. You passed. Then comes the night of rebirth. Blindfolded, you are driven to a hidden room thick with incense smoke. A statue of a warrior watches as 30 men stand in silence around you. The air feels heavy with history. You kneel and recite oaths older than anyone in the room, promises of loyalty that demand your life if broken. A rooster's blood mixes with rice wine. Your own blood joins it moments later. You drink, and the taste burns like metal and fire. The boy who served tea disappears forever. You rise as a soldier, bound to something that does not forgive or forget. Years pass. You are no longer watching doors. You control them. Promotion brings violence, territory disputes, rival crews, late-night meetings that end in broken glass and blood on tile floors. Orders become simple. Fix the problem. You lead men into dark rooms where words fail and actions speak louder than fear. Afterwards, you wash your hands in the sink, staring at eyes you barely recognize. At home, your father asks about your logistics job. You lie smoothly now. The lies come easier than the truth ever did. If you survive long enough, violence becomes inefficient. You trade street fights for tailored suits and office views. As a white paper fan, your weapon isn't a blade, it's paperwork. Cash turns clean through restaurants that never fill, businesses that exist only on spreadsheets. Money flows through your hands like water, transformed from something dirty into something respectable. You play golf with officials, shake hands with people who never ask where the profits come from. You live comfortably, but paranoia grows. Surveillance vans appear outside your apartment, phones feel unsafe. Every document you sign could become evidence one day. The cage forms slowly, built from luxury and fear. Decades pass. The old leaders disappear, arrested or buried. You rise to the top, the dragon head. Thousands obey your decisions. Shipping routes, casinos, and networks stretch further than you ever imagined when you were a teenager serving tea. But the world around you changes. Protests erupt in streets you once walked as a child. Cameras are everywhere. The old rules mean less now. Powerful forces approach you, men without names who ask favors that feel like betrayals. Refuse, and you risk annihilation. Agree, and you lose whatever piece of yourself remained human. You make the decision anyway. Watching the news that night, you realize the king of the underworld is still just another pawn on someone else's board. Power never lasts. Investigations begin quietly, not with raids, but with accountants and paperwork. Assets freeze, brothers turn into witnesses, loyalty evaporates when sentences get reduced. One morning, there is a knock on your door. No gunfight, no drama, just handcuffs and silence. The trial moves quickly. Words like racketeering and conspiracy replace the titles you once carried. The sentence is life. Now you sit in a cell barely larger than the kitchen where your story began. The walls are plain, the silence loud. Your father is gone, never knowing who you truly became. The wealth, the status, the power, all gone. Only memories remain. You saved a life once and spent 30 years paying for it. In the end, the debt is finally settled. This is the underworld. There is no retirement. There is only the end.